Oh my gosh, you guys, it's great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, my name is Johnny Fish, and I'm here at the Sunshine Studios with a couple of my friends. Do you want to introduce yourselves, guys?
Sure.
Gals?
I'm Toni Meyer.
I'm Shelley Roman.
Where are you guys from?
Tony's Flowers in Anoka.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, so you love flowers, huh?
We sure do.
We do.
Oh man, we got something in common.
That's great.
We got something in common. How did you get started in the floral business, you guys?
Ooh, you want to go first?
I can go first. My best friend's parents owned a flower shop in Anoka, Anoka Hoagland's, and I started in the floral industry, waiting on customers, helping the designers, that kind of thing. And then when I was a senior in high school, school wasn't my thing, and quitting wasn't an option for me or my parents. So I joined DECA and went to school half a day and then went to work half a day. And my job study was to learn to design flowers. So this will be my 38th year in the industry.
So you went to school, you got kind of that work release type of thing.
Yes.
To go to. Did you actually go to work all the time? Did you just skip out on school?
No, I went to work. I went to school. Yeah,
okay.
I went to school and work. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. You weren't home on the couch hanging out.
No,
none
no.
of that stuff. Okay. Only kidding, because I might have done that once or twice. So kind of the same thing.
yeah.
It's been 20 some years now, so I don't think I'll get in much trouble.
Yeah. Good.
So how about you? How did you get into the floral business?
So
Take us back a little bit about
take you back.
Tony's Flowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tony's Flowers has been around for 70 plus years. My connection to it, so I come from a corporate marketing background. I did that for 10 years, and then we were kind of going through some transition at work. Our company was being purchased by another company, and that was kind of scary. And I'd always loved flowers, but I was not connected to them in that capacity.
Yeah.
And I remember driving home one day and just saying, I'm sorry that I am so dense, but I need a sign that is so in my face that I can't ignore it. Like, what is my purpose here? What's next for me? Because it didn't feel like corporate marketing was it. Mm-hmm. And then, so I talked to my husband and he said, I'm going to see if the local flower shops would maybe train me. I'll make some phone calls, and I mean, what do I have to lose? During this transition, we didn't know if we were going to have jobs anyway. And I looked on Indeed, and Tony's Flowers was hiring a designer.
Cool.
And it was like, I hear you. That's my sign. So I went in and I met the previous owner, Donna, and she kind of took me under her wing and trained me. And then 2 years later, I bought it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Incredible.
It was sort of a meant to be, definitely not what I had planned initially, but kind of fell into it.
It's kind of neat to have something like that happen where you just get that sign. It's clear, and be able to be creative, and it's kind of it's exciting to try something new.
Yeah. And I joined Tony a year ago, so it was a year in January.
I know that you've been a huge supporter and a mentor to Tony, and man, do I love those individuals in my life. Mm-hmm. So thank you for being here.
She's a
and being
blessing
part of it.
For sure.
You know, you guys have just
goes both
you
ways.
guys have got to. I know Tony has said some amazing things.
Very
about you,
kind.
so
Thank you.
So you got into this thing. You weren't sure what was up. Shelley stepped into this thing and has been helping and supporting. And you guys make quite a team.
We do.
How has it been going? What's happened the last, since you've taken ownership, you've learned and everything, how are things going? And Shelley, pipe up there too. I mean, fill us in.
I think the first year was insane. I mean, I've got all the data from previous years, so I'm looking at numbers and things and trying to figure everything out. I thought I wore multiple hats at my other job. This is like a whole nother level of, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, but the first year was really, really good. I mean, I bought it right during COVID, so there was that. But deliveries were a saving grace. We were able to still market our services and get to people that way and spread joy in that crazy time, which was huge. And I think that almost propelled us in a way. Mm-hmm. And then I'm trying to think of the timeline.
I mean, I'm going to just mention something about the flowers and deliveries. Being able to still create and be artistic and then be able to express yourself through your ability with the flowers and to give that to families who are in need or are hurting tremendously through COVID. Right. And to be able to have that piece is such a huge thing because a lot of it was turned right off. I mean, the dial was shut off. People were still getting sick. People were still dying. People weren't able to celebrate. but to have something delivered at the front step. And my kids were one of them. You know, birthday party got canceled, and you know, here's the present. You know what I mean? It's at the front door.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was still like saving grace. Like, thank God, right? Because we knew what was going on. But,
Right. That's what we talked about on the way up here, that, you know, flowers speak where words can't sometimes. People can't be always in one place, so you deliver the flowers and, you know, people are thinking about you.
How has the industry been? I mean, you've been in the business a long time. You've seen a lot of changes.
It's changed a lot since I first started.
What are some of the biggest changes?
A lot of online ordering. You know, there's not that creative. We have really been pushing lately for designer choice, letting us be creative, letting us do what we do best. Pick the flowers that we have that's great in the cooler, where people will look online and pick something out and want that exact cookie cutter thing. Well, we can do that too, but we also try to be as creative as possible. So that's the biggest thing. You know, everybody's online shopping. They want that exact thing.
Yeah.
So,
And being able to keep up on that.
Yeah.
I know the ordering process. That's like getting into the business side of it. It's like artistic, having the product, but then to put it all together, great. But then to have people hitting a button, expect it today, right now.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted it yesterday.
Right. As pictured, which is tough now with supply and everything. You know, our customers have been great about substitutions, and we'll use our expertise to make those changes, but it doesn't always look like the picture because we can't always get what's in the picture.
there's shortages in the floral industry just like there is everywhere else. I mean, we can't, even if we order 2 or 3 weeks out for weddings and that kind of thing, we don't always get what we want. So we're selling more colors and style as opposed to specific flowers, which is very helpful. You know, when the couples are open to letting us do our thing, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because then we can get what we can get and make it beautiful.
So last year, I grew 16 fields. We lost half of them. When it comes down to like supply, having help and everything, did last year affect you much with that drought with suppliers and flowers, or do a lot of the flowers come out of state? Are they local? For those that are wondering.
A lot of our stuff, so in the off season, a lot of it comes from all over the world. We do a lot of South America, things come in from all over, and definitely the weather affected a lot. It was tougher last year. It's starting to get better. And then local was huge for us because last summer, I mean, the drought still was awful, but being able to get our product that much closer to home and support the local flower farmers was huge for us last year. So we're excited about that this year too.
Making those relationships local, right?
Yes.
And then being able to be like, hey, I know this person and I know them well, and they're just down the road or whatever. It's super cool. I met a gal at your shop last fall.
Randy.
We had the open house, and she was super cool. And she's like, oh, it's all about the soils. Got to get the soils right. Once we got that right, the flowers started growing. And like, yeah. That's great. I loved how she said soils. Got to get the soils right.
Yeah.
But she seemed super cool. And it's like, okay, Tony's awesome. This company's really great. They go the extra mile. I know you guys like fill in between the gaps as far as like if there's an issue with supply. I know it's going to be better. If it's not as pictured, it's going to be better. There's no doubt in my mind. Every time I ever order something, it's like I know it's going to be better. And I did. I ordered something, and you went crazy with it. Both of you went nuts with it. So do something fun, whatever. That was wild. Do you remember that? Do you remember that big sunflower piece that you made?
Yeah.
That had it was ridiculous. Do you remember like what you used for some of that?
I know some of it was dried stuff. Are you talking about the one for
Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting to knowing what I know about her and just the style, and that's so much fun to personalize it and customize all those pieces. Knowing her and her style and the magnolia stuff and all those cool things. That's kind of how we chose the container and the colors and the textures, and then
that's great.
And giving that creative freedom to us then just allows us. We do so much better work in that way when you don't have that cap or those barriers. You know, we can. I don't know. I feel like we both shine better when we have that freedom.
Yeah. I think that every family, every married guy, whatever, should have like the family florist. You know what I mean? Like, there's the morticianist, you know what I mean? That's in town or whatever. And that's not fun. But they have the family doctor. But when it comes to like floral and like, hey, this person knows who I am. Yeah. They know my style. They know my wife. They know my kids. They know my family. And you don't have to worry about it. So guys out there, get to know Toni a little bit here. But that's really cool. Spend time getting to know your florist. It saves so much time.
It's an honor for us too, because getting to know people, it is easier to design for them And I mean, being in the industry for so long, I've switched shops, a few different times, and I've had people follow me, and it's nice to have them, trust me.
Yeah.
And trust now Toni and that kind of thing.
It's huge. And just knowing them on a personal level, it's the best thing about the job, really, those human connections. And when people come in, Rick comes in and gets 3 carnations for his wife every other week. Like that's
cool.
There's just those people, and it's fun to see them. And then new faces too, obviously. But
well, as far as the industry goes right now, what's new and exciting right now? What's the latest and greatest that's happening in industry? Is it online? Is it this style? What's hopping right now?
What's hopping?
A lot of like bohemian, I was going to say, kind of like the drives.
Styles. And then eco-friendly, like foam. A lot of florists are trying to go foam free. We're trying to do our best in terms of just using products that are friendlier to the environment and reusable or things of that nature.
Okay, so
that's becoming bigger.
Reusable would probably be like P-rock, putting flowers into like a P-rock, or having it hold certain,
even like chicken wire, poultry netting, that kind of thing.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's great. What do you see in the next 5 years from now in the floral industry? Any changes? Where are you guys at? You got a new shop. We'll talk about that too. But 5 years from now, you close your eyes. Like, what do you see?
For us?
For you and for the industry. I mean, there might be 2 different things, but just what are you seeing?
Give me a minute.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
God, it changes so much.
It does.
I hope to see more. Craziness is the only word I can think of, but like she's saying, not that cookie cutter, really the outside of the box, floral jewelry, just, and not that that's necessarily new, it's been around, but those kinds of things never seem to take off that much. And there's something really cool about that.
Opening up a new can of worms. Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, look at electric cars. Electric cars are like, no, electric cars, come on. Now it's like the thing, right? You're opening something that was created a long time ago that's now going to be bigger, better, they say.
Right.
It's incredible, the technology. It's fun to go back. Sometimes it's back to the basics. And it's really great to see people express their artistic ability through flowers and through art, drawing, music. And I really want to thank you for being here to share a little bit about you and your company and your mission. But you're an artist. I mean, you're an artist. You guys are wonderful artists. And it's so important to have you guys around. And I encourage everyone out there to get to know you and to like your page and to get to know your family. Your husband's phenomenal.
Thank you.
And you got a little boy?
Yeah, Henry.
Nice. Shelley, tell me a little bit. You're married?
I'm married 38 years.
Cool.
No, not 38 years. I've been in the industry 38 years. Oh my gosh, let's not push it. Been married a long time, and 2 children. Oh my gosh, and 3 grandchildren. A little nervous still, sorry.
That's okay. Great.
3 grandchildren. I babysit them in the mornings, and that's why I get up so early in the morning, and then I go to work afterwards. So, yeah, I love it.
It's great. Yeah. Great. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. What is the hardest decision you've ever had to make in this industry, in the floral? Have you ever had just a really hard decision that you've had to make? Was the decision getting into this industry? Like, that was a time, maybe a tough one. You got the business side of things. I know it's probably tricky. It might take some time.
I want to say, the jumping in, but if I hadn't had that like feeling of this, I'm supposed to be doing this, and even if it doesn't work, I've got to try. But yeah, that was a wild transition for my family. I was in a really good spot. I was director of marketing for a big company. They compensated me very well. To go to this was was crazy, but I wanted it more. And I felt like I chased a number or a title so long, and that was not fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that's not what brings me joy. So that, putting that aside, and really focusing on something that was gonna be more fulfilling.
Yeah.
And fill that void that maybe was in there somewhere. So yeah, I don't.
Probably a tough question to ask, but it's probably something to think about. Shelley, do you have something like? Has there been a time working? You've got a lifetime of experience here.
Well, I had my own shop for a short amount of time, and it was during the last. So from let me think of the dates, 2006 to 2011. So, economy wasn't really well at that point in time. Flowers did not fill your belly. It did not fill your tank. So I felt like I worked 24 hours a day, and did I make enough money today to keep the lights on, to pay my employees, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So the hard decision for me was to decide to close the store. So that was very difficult. But in the same respect, I was able to step into a position where I could just design, go back to floral designing, and that's what I love so much about being at Toni's, is I am back to the basics, where it's a flower shop. It's not the extras. It's not the, so I love that. So closing a store, closing a business, it almost feels like a slight failure, but yet it was right for my family.
Doors close and doors open all the time. And, right. I mean, there's a lot of people that have probably been in your shoes, right? And sometimes the doors close and sometimes they open, and we've all have those experiences. And I'm sure that was probably tough, but being able to, I don't know if the right word is delegate, but to be able to delegate and say, hey, Shelly, you're going to create, and we're going to allow you to create and be the best that you can be and express the very best you can for this family because of this issue or this circumstance. And to be able to say, hey, you have this ability, here are the tools, here are the resources, and you've got that business background as well, where you can maybe delegate and do things on your end that you really, 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 really connect with, and that's people, and serving. So it's great. You're absolutely meant to be here today. We're absolutely meant to do this. You went from an old shop to a new shop.
We did. We moved locations in January, and lots of reasons, but a big one was just walk-in traffic. So our deliveries sort of maintain themselves. The online traffic, that's manageable. That's a separate sort of strategy. And then walk-in traffic at the older place wasn't very good. Parking wasn't very good. So we really wanted to increase that side of things for that reason, the community, the human connection, meeting more people and seeing more faces. And I feel like we're definitely in the right spot for that. Anytime you move, there's transitions, and there's a learning curve. It takes some time for people to get used to that, but I definitely feel like we're seeing more, and hopefully we'll continue to see more.
We're meeting new people that didn't even know Toni's existed. So we're on we were on the east side of town. Now we're on the west side of Anoka, and in a little shopping mall. There's a couple great restaurants right in the area that we're at, and a great bakery, and so people frequent that all the time. And so for us to be in that area, people say, "Oh, when did you move?" When and it's new people coming in, and it's great. We have our regulars already that are new to us since we moved in January, and it's amazing. So so like you said, people saying, "You're my florist." That's amazing.
Yeah. So. And I mean, hopefully people today that listen to this, see this, will understand a little more and be like, hey, you know what? I do need to get to know my florist a little more. And then the dads out there, the guys out there for your significant other, it's, and I just say that as a guy perspective, just to have someone that you trust, that knows you, knows your style, knows your wife's style, knows your kid's style. Like I just feel like I can shoot a text over and I know it's going to be taken care of.
And it's not just when you're in trouble. You don't have to buy flowers just when you're in trouble.
Is that right?
Just because. And treat yourself. If you're a woman who wants to love fresh flowers, or a guy who wants to have fresh flowers, come on in. We have lots of things either done up in the cooler ready to go, or grab some fresh flowers and we'll put them together for you.
Where can people find you right now? Do you have an address you can share?
Yeah, it's 530 West Main Street, suite number 5 in Anoka.
Very, very nice. And what about Facebook?
Facebook, Instagram at Toni's Flowers. Facebook, same thing, Toni's Flowers.
Great. And the best preferred way to connect with you is call, text, email?
All the things. So stop in and see us. Call. The website is a great resource if you're trying to order. But really call, email, stop in.
I want to tell a quick story about you and how we connected.
Okay.
And you have helped raise support for Fish Sunflowers. People don't really realize what the cost that goes into some of these things. Last year was the hardest year of my life in general, just with everything going on. Super busy, lots of expectations, going and growing these memorial flowers for people, and then losing half of them. And you salvaged some of them. You came out and you picked flowers and you dried some. And I was able to meet your son, and I was able to meet another helper. What's your other helper's name?
Judy and Jordan.
There you go.
Was Jordan there? Or Jordan there? Judy, for sure, was there.
Oh, we got to do a shout out. to Judy.
Yes.
Judy.
And she made your earrings too?
She made my earrings, yes.
Oh my goodness. She's great.
Love you,
She
Judy.
is.
No, we had a field that was pretty tough shape, and you guys came out. We were in the fire truck. We watered the field a little bit with your son, and we were able to pick some. And I felt really bad that the flowers weren't like premium, but you took them and you dried them and you had them in your old store for your open house, and it just meant a lot to me to see those, that you did something with them, because I mean they were hurting. So thank you for like raising some support, for supporting me. I know you bought some T-shirts and you were doing seed packets and everything, and that was just really fun, super encouraging.
Yep. We do have that in those in the store too, so for sale.
Yeah. Okay, great. You've got a handful left.
Yep.
Sweet. So if you want a shirt, seed packets are gone. I'll probably send you home.
Seed packets. I have birdseed.
Got some birdseed. All right, there you go.
And we have
guys.
hats.
And some
Boom
hats.
shakalaka. Awesome. All right, well, you guys know where to go. For individuals that are getting into the floral business or thinking about getting into the floral business, what's a couple pieces of advice before they do so, or things to consider?
Oh my goodness. I would say find a reputable school that can train you properly. What do you think?
Yeah, training is huge.
Training is very huge to know the right things, I guess.
Kind of the basics, the foundations of design, and the mechanics behind it are huge in terms of design. And then really, if you have a passion for it, just go for it.
Mm-hmm. That's, that's
just
the biggest part.
push and try and keep going.
Super hard to wear out when you're passionate about something.
Right.
If you're not passionate about it, you're going to wear out quick,
Yeah.
and you're going to give up easy.
Yeah.
So
It's not as much work when you do something that you love to do.
awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. I mean, there are days, it's stressful, and there are days, I mean, we talk a lot about our, like, this is sort of kind of an offshoot, but some of the work we're most passionate about is the sympathy work that we do, and creating memorials for these lives to be celebrated. And there's just something, it's just, there's so much meaning behind it. It's such a gift that we have, that we've been given, that we can then give these families.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Meeting the families and hearing about their loved ones, and then creating something for their final goodbye or their final story for their family.
So important.
It is important. And, we put our heart in every arrangement that we do, because we think about it as if it was our family member. So many people are, we think about our parents or our children, or, depending on the age of the person or the situation or the story or what, happened. And just to put those final things together is
and make it a positive, good reflection of who that person was or that life.
Yeah.
We went to the Adult and Teen Challenge Gala together. You get tagged along and saw that. And that gentleman had shared with us about being in the transportation business. And you think, okay, this guy's a big sponsor. This guy's a big promoter. He's going to talk about all the buses he has. But he actually was a morticianist, and he talked about the people that he picks up from overdosing and these hardships and the numbers and the stats. And it really is incredible. And that's something I hope we can really stomp out with both feet, that addiction. And I can only imagine like living through some of those things that you guys have to live through. I can relate with some of the messages and the videos and the pictures, and it's not always easy.
No.
But to make it a positive thing is really an ability, really a special ability.
There's times that we cry right with the families.
Oh, we cry a lot.
Or we cry after
We are
they leave.
criers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
But it helps. Shelley actually told me this, because when I first started, those consultations specifically for Memorial were really, really hard. I mean, very empathetic, hard for you not to cry. And she said, you shouldn't have to turn that off. Like, that's who you are, and that shows that you care. Like, don't hide that. Sort of embrace it. And that has totally flipped my mindset, because it is. That's why people trust us, because we make those connections, and not just for Memorial, for all these parts of these people's lives that flowers, are, we think, necessary, but wanted or desired is such a gift.
Yeah, I can tell the dynamic with your employees and the people that you work with. They're not working for you. They're working with you.
For sure.
And they believe in you. And I know you believe in Shelley.
Yeah.
I know Shelley believes in you.
Yes, for sure.
Is there a couple things you could tell me about Shelley?
Oh my gosh.
Just
There's box Kleenex.
Oh.
Yep.
I saw it before I
Yep.
sat down.
Yep. So just a half year, we're in mid-year review. What do you got to tell
Okay.
about Shelly?
Well, I've been meaning to talk to you about something.
Oh, no.
Shelly is a light in my life. I'm not going to get through this.
You're
No
gonna
way.
dig through it. That's okay.
There's something about you that is like, I don't know how to describe, almost like a welcoming vessel. The things, I mean, she and I work together, but there's an instant connection. And some of the stuff that it's so welcoming to I know I can trust you with anything. And the stuff that I share with you is personal, business, all the things. There's just a beautiful, I mean, clearly it's no words because they're not coming out. But you know what I mean?
I know it. I know
Just, I can tell you anything and I can trust you with anything. And that means more than I could ever say.
Thank you. Very kind. Appreciate that.
Shelly, is there something you want to tell Toni?
Well, you know, Toni is my daughter's age. I mean, just by a few months, they are separate. So I am old enough to be her mother. And I don't think of her as a daughter, more as a friend, not just my boss. I feel like she saved me. I was in a spot that I really needed some lift, and Toni was there. It just, things happen for a reason. I say that is like my most common thing I say. Things happen for a reason. It was meant to be that I was supposed to go work for Toni. And she's kind. She's generous with her words. She's generous with her time. She's generous with all the things. Her family. I mean, her family is just amazing. So,
It's great.
yeah, I feel the same about being able to. We work very well together. Mm-hmm. So
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, in today's day and age, if I'm saying that right, guys, it's hard for people to just say positive things to one another. It's very easy to say negative things. It's very easy to comment on the bad service that you got. You know, it's so easy to dwell on that stuff, and people don't hear enough encouraging words. And you don't know what's going on in that person's life or in that family's life.
Right.
Or maybe it's just a family friend that's going through a hard time and it's just killing that person inside. So it's good to hear you say, and I know how much love is in what you're saying. And you guys just like look at each other and like, you guys get it. You've been there. You've been in the trenches together.
yeah,
You're working your way through it and out of it. And you're not working for this one. You're working with this one.
Yeah.
You guys are working with each other.
Yeah.
So that is cool. And that's a company that I can get behind.
Yeah.
100%.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
thank you guys for being here and sharing a little bit about your company. Again, the name of your company,
Toni's Flowers in Anoka,
Anoka, Minnesota. Address?
530 West Main Street, number 5.
And your Facebook name is Toni's Flowers?
Toni's Flowers, yep. Toni's Flowers MN for Facebook. Instagram is just at Toni's Flowers, and then our website's tonysflowers.net.
Awesome. These guys care about you. They believe in you. They work really well with others. Thank you for your support. You guys have done some fundraisers and stuff for all of us, and it's been really, really awesome to have you be a part of this. So thank you for the arrangement, too. It fits.
Perfect.
Shelly, thank you. Toni, thank you.
Yes, thank you
Blessings
for
to you
having
all,
us.
and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for your time.
Sweet. I'm doing high fives.
Reach.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.